Well, let's see if anyone else joins. We'll just add them. So I'm Dr. Maya Alapin. I'm not a medical doctor. So what I'm going to talk about today is the discovery call, because so much can be done on the discovery call, especially if we have a plan and an intention for it and not just treat it as a sales call. So that's what the next hour or 90 minutes-ish will be about. I'm going to do about 10 or 15 minutes of just talking through how I designed this. Then I'll do the demo with Domino, and then I'll take questions. So your screen can be off or on, do whatever you need to do. I am going to record. So if there's something you want to say, you don't want recorded, don't say it, obviously. I'm not going to send out this recording. The reason I'm not sending the recording out is because, for one thing, I just don't want myself and my sales pitch and call on the internet for any reason. Also, I don't really want you to copy this so much as to see the concept that I'm using or the approach, and then use it to design one that makes sense for your niche and your, brand. So by all means, I think copying is a high form of compliment. I'm not trying to say don't use what you learn here, but I'm not giving out a recording partly because I don't want people to create a facsimile of this. I want you to be inspired, learn, and create something that makes sense for you. So, of course, my purpose with my discovery call is based in MOS. What is MOS?
A minimum optimum service.
Right, minimum optimum service. So minimum optimum service means this call, oh, there's somebody else. I knew I should have waited. Let's let this one person join. So minimum optimum service means the least amount of time for the maximum amount of results, impact, and cash. So when I'm doing this discovery call, that's what I have in mind is how much can I get done in this call so that I can minimize the amount of time that I spend with this client in sessions. A really important piece of my discovery call that I think goes a long way before I actually demo the process is my attitude. So I believe that my position in selling my product is to create a wave of hope, to create some sense of joy and optimism. So, to prepare for my call, that's really the attitude that I bring. So, it's not going to work for you if you're running around, putting your groceries away and talking to your kids on the phone, and then you stop to do a discovery call and, you're in the midst of everything, because that energy transfers. So it's really important that you be really like clear and focused when you come to your call with the intention of, oh, there's somebody else, with the intention of bringing that joyful, positive, good news attitude. So take a moment before you start your call to remind yourself of that in whichever ways work for you. So I like to just take like literally 20 seconds before the call and close my eyes and just see myself helping this person. Maybe I see them at the end of their problem if it's a problem that I can envision. If I don't know very much about them, maybe I do some other internal process. But I always take those few seconds just to prepare myself to appear in that attitude of hope. And I think that actually is a big, big piece of my success. My conversion rate on my calls right now is like between 80 and 90%. It's really, really high. And I think a lot of it is what I'm going to teach you now. And a lot of it is that attitude. So to me, this is the most important part of your ACH business, the discovery call, for two reasons. One is because this is the heart of collecting money and the transaction. So obviously it's going to be super central. Number two, this is where the transformation is going to begin. It's not going to begin at the sessions, it's going to begin at the discovery call. So it's really important that you set it up that way, because then there's a lot less to do when the client actually gets to you. So I think that the way that this call goes determines not only whether they purchase the product, but also how fast your transformation is going to occur. And that's MOS. So if you set this up to go quickly, it will go quickly. If you don't set up that expectation, it's not as clear how it's going to go. So I've heard Scott say 90% of the work of therapy is done on this discovery call. I'm not sure if 90% is the right number, but it's an awfully high percentage. So it's really important to not treat this as a sales call and not treat this as something you can do in the interim, but something that has your full attention and has your full intention behind it. Okay, so while we were waiting for people to come in, I said that I would do a little easy quiz. Can you guys see this? I've never used the quiz thing before. Okay, so this is a multiple choice quiz. Go ahead, everybody answer. What's the purpose of the discovery call? Make money, priming, begin the process, education, build rapport. Oh, I can't hear you, Domino. You're muted. Go ahead if you guys want to unmute or say what you think, or just use I don't know how the polling exactly is going to work, but I see everyone's answering. Did everybody give a different answer? Some people said make money, some people said priming, some people said begin the process. It's multiple choice too, so you can do whatever you want here. Okay, everybody agrees that it's priming. Yep. Everybody it begins the process. So you listen to what I was saying. Okay, not so many votes for education. That's interesting. Not so many votes for building rapport. And only two people thought it was for making money. Okay, well, whoever didn't answer making money, here's the problem with your discovery call. You're not thinking about it in terms of making money. So fix that in your head right now. You are here to make money. You are here to sell this product. This is absolutely your opportunity to prime. This is absolutely 100% where the process begins. For the three people who did not answer begin the process, I'd like to know where you think the process begins. Well, maybe you thought it was at the advertising before, so that's also correct. Education, this is your only chance to speak to the conscious mind. So 100% this is your opportunity to educate the public and the client in particular. Rapport building, this is 100% your best opportunity to create rapport, because this is the first time that the client is going to get to know you or see you. So that was a trick question. Basically, all of those answers were 100% correct answers. Again, for whoever said no to making money, please adjust your thoughts about why you're doing this. Because number one, you're a business. Number two, you're going to help people. But number one, you're a business. So you're absolutely here on the discovery call to make money. Okay, another little quiz question. This one is very important. Okay, what is the purpose of the discovery call for you? What is the most important answer for you as the therapist? Not in general why we're doing this, but for you as an individual. What is the single most important reason for you to hold the discovery call? It's really important that you know the answer to this. I think you should be able to fill in the blank. I don't know exactly how this one works either, but go ahead and answer, or you can unmute yourself and answer me out loud. What is the single most important reason for you to hold the discovery call? Nobody knows? Who's the one person who answered? Why can't I see the answers? What is it, Ben?
I'm not sure. I did answer it though, but I'm not sure.
Why can't I see them? I can't see the answers. Go ahead and say it out loud. I see three of you have answered, but it won't tell me what it says. So unmute yourself and tell me.
I just said that to see if we're a good fit for each other.
Yeah, good fit. That's a good answer. Did everyone say that?
Yeah, and also I think to understand what the problem is, how it's impacting them, and how ready they are to actually resolve it. So are they 0 or are they 10?
Right. Okay, but I'm talking about to protect yourself. more for yourself. That's true about the client. But I think Ben is onto it, something about screening, not only seeing if you're a good fit, because lots of people can be a good fit, but also to eliminate and screen for people who, A, are not qualified or not good candidates. Those people might have, whatever it is, bipolar disorder, be medicated on antipsychotics. I mean, for me, I have limits to what I'm willing to treat. I don't want to, impose my limits on you. But this is what this call is about, is understanding, is this person a good fit? Not only are they moving through your barriers to entry, but also are they suggestible? Are they following along? Are they oppositional? So it's super important to use this call, not only to make money, not only to prepare for what's about to come, but for safety and to protect yourself. So I see this call as extremely complex because it has a sales aspect to it. It has a therapeutic aspect to it. It has the way my business protects me and I set it up in my favor. So this call is not for one or the other person. It's very much needed for both people to come to a consenting and comfortable agreement about what's going to happen. Moreover, I'll add this piece about my position on my discovery call. To me, this is a revolutionary act. This is a political act, because what we're saying on the discovery call is the impossible is possible, magic is possible. And so I take this call as a very important statement about what I believe and who I am, and whether or not they buy the product. I think that's a big contribution to the world at large on that day at that time. So I see this as multi-dimensional and holographic for sure. Okay, so here's the structure of the call that I use, and then I'm going to break it down in detail. It'll take us about 10 minutes, and then we'll do the demo, okay? Save your questions until the end after the demo. I have broken my call into 45 minutes. It does tend to run into an hour because sometimes 15 minutes turns into 20, or sometimes after 45, we're still building rapport. But I want to say that I tell the client it's 45 minutes, but I book an hour, because then when minute 46 and 48 and 49 are going on, they think I'm being really generous. And they think, oh, this person really cares and is staying to hang out with me. And I am, and that's on purpose. So I book the hour, but I book 45 minutes in the calendar. The 45 minutes is broken down into 3 15-minute segments. 15 minutes on the client, 15 minutes on the protocol, and then 15 minutes on the Q&A, scheduling, payment, miscellaneous. Okay, and it's in order of importance. Pay attention to that. Client goes first. Protocol and my position on hypnosis and ACH goes second. Third goes, what did we get out of that, and what more do we need to do to close this deal? So that's my 3 15-minute segments. And as soon as I turn the screen on, as you'll see when I start with the demo, I just explain to them that's what it is. So I give my introduction, then I say, it's going to be a 3-part call. This is how it's going to go. Does that make sense to you? How do you feel about it? They say, great. Okay, now then we can begin. I do take notes during this call. I hardly ever take notes during my sessions. I mean, I do take notes on resources and names and important things like that, but I don't take extensive notes during sessions. I take very, very detailed, extensive notes during the discovery call. And when we are in that phase of me saying, hey, this is my name, here's what I'm going to do, I tell them my head is going to be down for some of this because I'm taking really detailed notes, because I want you to get exactly what you came for. Why am I taking detailed notes? It's not only because I need detailed notes for, the sessions and to help this person. It's because when I send my follow-up email, which comes directly after the call ends, and I'll explain that to you at the end, there's a paragraph at the beginning of my confirmation email where I reiterate to them exactly the words that they said to me. And I don't depend on my memory for that. I've written it down. So if they say, oh, I came for weight loss, and then I say, okay, what exactly do you want out of this? When I wave my magic wand, what do you want? And they say, I want to be 20 pounds lighter so that I can board my sailboat with ease, so that I can run with my children in the grass. I write those words down: board sailboat with ease, run with children in grass. And then when I write back to them and I say, welcome to your soul's way. In this process, you're going to learn, you're going to let your subconscious show you how to. And then it says exactly what they said, because I want them to get exactly what they want. So I write it down. So I tell them I'm going to take notes. If my head is down, I'm listening to you. I just want you to know that I'm taking notes. Okay, does everybody have the handout that's in the chat? There's a PDF in the chat. Go ahead and open it. You don't need it. You can use it for later if you want to, or like refer back. I think maybe, let's see, maybe if you joined after I dropped it, you can't see it. Let me redrop it then. So this is a little cheat sheet for you. It's a two-part cheat sheet. One is the purpose of this whole thing, and then there's some questions you can use. I actually have my questions in front of me when I do this. So number one, rapport. Rapport is so central to why you're having this discovery call. The posture that you bring to this call is going to dictate the posture that the client perceives of you throughout this process. So when you're about to turn on your Zoom screen, be in the center of the screen like I am right now, have proper lighting as well as you can. It's dark right now. I still have lights all over me. I don't want to be in the dark. You want to have decent contrast between you and the background behind you, so it's not like smushed in together. You want to look organized. You want to be professional, and you want to be warm and smiling. Don't be scrambling for shit. Don't be looking for your pen. Don't be, as they're coming on the screen, you're sitting here with your warm attitude, welcoming them. So it looks a lot like I look right now. Your business goals. So that's your goals on rapport. Your business goals are, as we said before, evaluate the client, gather data on them. Also, we're going to use this to prime them to prepare for what happens in the session. And I was surprised a lot of you didn't pick educate, because this is your main opportunity to educate your clients about ACH and the process they're about to go through. If you don't use this opportunity to educate them, they're going to ask you throughout the process, is it working? Is this what I signed up for? So it's better to just tell them right up front what that's all going to be, so that when they're in the sessions, they're not asking you about it or wondering silently in their head. So first, rapport. Second, business goals. Third, priming. Priming means preparing them for the results that are coming to them. So I say in this call all the time, when we're in session, this is what's going to happen. Or when this transformation occurs, this is how you're going to feel. So you'll see me do that in the demo that's coming up here. I'm always saying, so when you're in the session, this is what you can expect. And I do it over and over in the discovery call, because I want them to picture that session a lot of times before I tell them the price and before I invite them to purchase it. I want them to already be there in their mind. I also want them to be able to see themselves after the problem is solved. So you're going to hear me ask that question during the client piece of the interview. Once this problem is solved, tell me who you're going to be and what's going to happen. I don't want to go too far with it, like Jackie said at the beginning, because I don't want to solve the problem right there and then. And by the way, it's not that we're not trying to solve the problem right there and then because we want the money. It's that it's not thorough if we solve the problem, instantaneously. So that just doesn't serve the client. Yes, Robin, I'll go over the business goals again in a minute. So we want them to see themselves after the problem is solved. So those are your two priming goals, when you're in the session, and then secondly, when the problem is over. So back to the business goals, Robin is asking me to clarify in the chat. Evaluate the client, gather data on the client, and then your secondary business goals are educate the client and prime the client. Why are those business goals? Because they work towards MOS. Then I went on to say, and this is what you're going to do to prime the client. Future pace them and help them imagine what's going to happen when the problem is over. So now, education. I'm very explicit. I don't hide anything. I don't try to pretend like, this is magic and I don't know how it works or something like that. I'm super honest. I say the history of ACH, when I got involved in it, what does it mean to me? And, I'm clear about my position inside of that community so people understand what they're purchasing. I talk about the superconscious mind and the subconscious mind, and I educate on my protocol. So that leaves no questions unanswered. Just like when you go to the dentist, you don't go to the dentist and they don't tell you anything. They tell you, this is what we're going to do. This is how much it's going to cost. This is what it's going to feel like. Very much like that. So I explain the entire protocol. Then I go on to the offer. What is the product? What is my commitment? What is my promise? And what is the price for all of that? And then finally, my final step in the whole process, which I didn't put on the original quiz, but it's really important, is debunk myths. Because people come with all kinds of ideas about what hypnosis is and what hypnosis will feel like. And you want them to be really clear when they leave the discovery call what to expect from you and your sessions. So if you didn't understand that whole list or you have questions about it, that's okay. I wanted to preview it before you see it happen. So now I'm going to actually demo it. It'll take us about 45 minutes and then I'll answer questions. So Domino, I'm going to spotlight you. Everybody else can turn off their screen. So what you all need to know about Domino is that she has already filled out a form prior to coming, and that's how people book in with me. So they have to answer a questionnaire of 5 questions. If you want to see my questionnaire, just go to my website and pretend like you're going to book a discovery call, and you'll be directed to my questions. They're really simple, like, what do you want to solve? Why do you think you're a good fit to work with me? Can you afford it? All of that regular stuff. But if you want to go and copy mine, just go to my website and you're welcome to copy them. The second page of your handout is my question list. Even though I've done maybe, 200 of these calls so far, I still have my list in front of me. I just like the security of that. So if I were you, I would put the list on like hardback paper or, a piece of cardboard or something, and just have it in front of you as you go through the call.